Hi and welcome. We're talking today to Nicole. She's the Senior Manager at Sikich, and Nicole's going to talk to us about application training. So what is a surprise to a lot of enterprises is that some of the biggest obstacles to a successful ERP project is not the software, it's organizational. Nicole, why is training such an important part of an implementation project?
ERP project is such a massive investment, right? You're fundamentally changing the way your company is doing business. You're hopefully streamlining a lot of the business processes. But at the end of the day, it's a tool, right? And a tool is only as good as the hands that are wielding it. So if you don't spend enough time training your resources, then you really risk delayed implementation, poor user adoption, which is obviously not what you want to happen after you've made such a large investment in the solution. And then there's other roadblocks to your project success. So we always say start training as early on as possible. The more frequently you train and the earlier you train, the better that you're setting your project up for success.
So, Nicole, how do you go about building this effective training plan?
So we recommend kind of taking a comprehensive approach, right?
Mm,
Um, you understand your culture, you understand your company's goals. So make sure that your training is really aligned in those areas. You know your people better than anyone. And so when we're starting early, we're really talking about the very beginning phases of the project. Why? Because it allows them to get familiar with the interface. They can see what functionality is now available to them that maybe they don't have in their existing system now. Um, and also just try to make sure that some of the best practices that are already implemented into the system are really going to work for their day-to-day processes. Um, Also, think about how people learn. People learn differently. Not everybody uses the same has the same learning style. So when you're building out these training plans, make sure you include some variety in that training. And then finally, as you're building your training plan, really consider including training for super users. Those are your subject matter experts. They're the ones that are going to be in the system the most. There's also business process training. I sort of touched on that before. Make sure you're thinking about technical training. Your IT, you need to train those IT masters. So really early on ensuring that your employees have a firm understanding of the solution, instilling in them a sense of ownership and building their confidence prior to the go live is really going to allow for a smooth transition and alleviate a lot of those fears associated with change and role disruption early on so that you can ensure a successful project.
wow, Nicole, that sounds like a lot of things to do. If someone wants to get ahead of the game, and particularly now when we've got projects that clients are trying to move forward a little bit on their own, what resources are available today for them to use to just start getting that familiarity with Dynamics 365 as part of maybe the start of a project, or even I guess even midway through?
Right. So, Debbie, Microsoft has actually done an excellent job producing a lot of great free training material, not only for Dynamics 365, the business application, but for other parts of the platform as well, like Azure and Power Apps that really make it such a powerful solution. So, these trainings are anything from initial, product exploration to really some deep training that's going to allow users to become certified if that's something that you're of interest in. There's also the Dynamics 365 community. So, I mean, that's there's a lot of experts out there in Dynamics. There's a lot of people who are already using the system that have a firm grasp on it. So it's really a forum for you to get that expert and peer advice. And then finally, I'll say, and this is if you have purchased Dynamics 365 F&O licensing, then the product actually comes equipped with lifecycle services, which is an incredibly cool tool that really just allows you to document some of those training scenarios once your system's fully configured. So we really recommend that you check out these tools. Like I said, they're free. And these are going to be great resources that are already available to you right there on Microsoft's website.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Nicole.
Thank you.